kitchen. I am the sensory sensitive adult. And today we are going to cook together. I am right now trying this thing called a low Fodmap diet. I'm having some digestive issues. I think it's related to potentially a connective tissue disorder. I'll find out soon. Let you know what I know. But at any instance, I'm having some issues in my stomach, intestines, bowels. So I am trying the low Fodmap because I'm not 100% sure what's causing the issues, and that's one of the tools that folks use to do that. So Fodmap stands for fermentable, illegal, dye, monosaccharide, and polyl. It's the food that feeds your digestive system, your gut. But one of the silly things about it is it can cause gas. So if there's things in there that you don't digest well, they give extra gas. And when you have issues with connective tissues, it can get bloated, and they'll just push out extra far and cause extra pain. I think potentially the bowels just get extra big and then fall, and so it causes pain kind of in the right hand side, which is a lot of what I'm dealing with right now, in my hip up to my side and in my kind of back ribs. And most things are food related, so I'm starting there. That's what we're doing. So today I'm going to cook some spaghetti that is going to be in the low Fodmap family. So they're basically different types of sugars. Essentially, what I'm doing differently is no onion or garlic. Well, let me say it like this. And for right now, you start out with removing everything, and then you slowly add back in a thing at a time and find out if it's okay, if it's not okay. That's how it works. So right now I'm I inadvertently did a fast, and then now I'm kind of in the low Fodmap stage, keeping all the things out, and then I will slowly add back in after I've adjusted to this. So for this meal, I'm going to substitute out the regular pasta for a brown rice pasta. There's a number of different gluten-free options that you can sub in for it. I'm going to use some broccoli because I love my broccoli, and I was so excited to find out it's good to go. Cauliflower, however, is not, and that was a bit of a bummer. I'm going to use, so I've got some green onions, but you could only use the green parts of it, which, fun tip, I should have brought it up for you. Hold please. I brought it up for you. Okay, so I usually just keep regrowing these anyway. So I only cut the tops off, and then you just stick them in a glass of water and put it next to my other plants, and they just keep growing up, and you just cut off the little bits when you need them. So I was very pleased to find out I could use those. And then I've also got some fresh basil that I'm going to use. We're also going to do some baby spinach and some baby carrots. Ow! Okay, so that is my tip to you. Add some veggies in your sauces whenever possible, because they're just going to absorb all those lovely tomato-y flavors and taste less like the veggies. So as you're adding things into your diet, like basil, and even these green onions are fairly new for me, if I add them into familiar flavors, it's easier for me to, I get less anxiety when I eat the meal, and it's more enjoyable. So they say that if you're trying a new food, you need to try it at least 10 times before it's not I don't know. It doesn't cause anxiety, I guess. That's in my world. That's how I feel like. It's a new food, and so it spikes anxiety for me. And it doesn't really taste very good in the beginning, but the more you try it, the more you like it. And for I've seen numbers anywhere between 8 and 20 that but 10 is kind of the most common one that I see that suggests that you have to try something at least 10 times before you adjust to the taste of that item and you no longer think it's like a new or novel taste, and you can then add it to whatever you want. So I'm still in the process of adding a lot of greens to my stuff, and this is one of the ways I do it, is I add it into my sauces. Bam! So I've got some water boiling. My partner is not on the low Fodmap diet, and he does not want to eat rice pasta, so I'm going to cook up some regular pasta for him. Get that rolling while I get the rest of my stuff done. Because I don't need a time lapse. That's got to go in the fridge anyway. I need it to cool before I can put it away. I'm making this for lunch before I head off to work this afternoon, so most of it's just going to go in the fridge and get saved off. I'm just going to eat a small portion of it. But I like to, because cooking is, my next tip for you. Cooking is difficult for me. So it's labor intensive, it's time intensive. It takes a lot of planning, a lot of effort, a lot of cleaning, a lot of coordination. There's a lot of skills involved in cooking. It's one of, and it's also like stressful because there's heat and you can burn things. You can set things on fire. I've done that. Don't do that. But, so anyway, I like to cook as much as possible when I do it so that I don't have to do it that often, if that makes sense. Once I expend the energy, I want to take advantage of this opportunity. So I've got his pasta rolling. Actually, I think I'm going to turn that down a titch. I didn't add any salt into his water. I'm going to add some salt into the water. It raises the boiling temperature of the water so that you can get the keep the pasta in there longer while it gets to the right softness. If you put a wooden spoon across the top of a pan like this, it will never boil over. Do you believe that? I learned that recently, and it hasn't happened to me since. I used to do that all the time when I made macaroni and cheese. It's like always boiling over because I forget about it. I walk away and do something else, and it's not a good idea, folks. Don't do that. That's the thing. You got to pay attention when you're in the kitchen. You got to be on it. So, what I like to do for my food, because I'm going to have everything ready all at the same time, I like to make sure everything is prepped before I start cooking. So, I'm going to head over to the prep area and get my hands washed. Let's go. Gotta make sure you wash your hands before you cook. Don't forget to do that. And if you're handling raw meats and raw eggs, anything that's going to cause contamination, you want to wash your hands in between things. So, kitchen time is lots of hand washing, which can be difficult sensory-wise. Don't run the water when you wash your hands. There's literally people that don't have water to do it. It's stupid. What a waste. So, turn the water on, soak. You want to wash your hands, scrub everywhere for at least 20 seconds. Then turn the water back on, rinse them off, and then you can dry them. Got it? I know. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Okay. Let's go. So, if I want to prep these guys, I want to make sure I wash them first. When you get fresh vegetables and fruit and stuff from a store, it's some of the most likely contaminated food, just because there's so many hands that touch it. Just all the way from out in the farms, people picking them, and then all of the different hands that they touch during the shipping process. So, even the stuff that comes in bags, they say they're washed, but I don't totally trust that. I still rewash them. Alright, kids. I got lead in my pipes. It turns out, if there's lead in your pipes, you have to run the water for at least a minute before you drink it. That was new to me. When I found that out, I stopped drinking this water. But I still use it for some cooking purposes. If I'm gonna like actually cook with it, I run it through the Brita filter. And then, actually I cleaned it recently, but it starts to get brown on the inside. It's no bueno. So, you want to wash our fruits and vegetables. Just do this guy. Before we use them, make sure we get anything off that could be contaminated. Pow, 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 pow. Alright, and then if you don't have great knife skills, practice before it's dinner time and you're hungry, because you're more likely to injure yourself then. So spend some time in the kitchen cooking stuff like when you're not hungry for other events, you know, like prep time on like a Sunday or something like that. Get yourself all like ready to go for the week. I love doing that. That's another good batching activity. So when you cut things with a knife, make sure you curl your fingers under so you don't cut off your fingertips, and use that to hold it down, and then you just use the knife to slide across. Now if you're a big scaredy cat like me, they have gloves that you can't cut through. I'm not going to try it because I won't try it because I don't want to find out that they don't 100% work till it's that like, whoopsies. Great, I'm so glad you were there. I'm not going to test that out. But they say you can't cut through it. Like here, nothing. I mean, I've used them before and I haven't injured myself. So it can be, it's a little bit more comforting to throw this on, and then I don't have to worry as much. If my form isn't brilliant, I can work a little bit faster too. So I'm going to cut this up. See in a minute. So I'm going to drain a little bit of the juice out of the canned tomato. Wow. See, the thing about these cans is like the pop tops seem easier in them, but if you can't get your fingers to move that way, forget about it. I don't know how we could get these open. I don't really have a plan for this juice, to be honest with you. I just don't really want to waste it, because I'm sure I can find something for it. So I'm just trying to get out a little bit of that extra juice that's in the can of the tomatoes, and then I'm putting it on over in the pot, getting it ready to go. I got everything washed and cut, ready for the sauce to get going. Alright, we're going to start with ground beef. I'm going to use a fair amount of it in here. It's totally allowed. And I'm going to cook the meat and the tomato sauce separately to start with, because I don't have a pot that's big enough to put it all together right now. So I'll have to figure that out. But I'll do it when I get there. So we're going to start with browning the hamburger. I always break my spaghetti type pasta up into smaller pieces because I find it's easier to eat. If it comes on a plate, I always cut it up, and so this makes it shorter for me in the first place. I did have an ex who was deathly afraid of choking, would have a hard time with a lot of foods, and any kind of like thin spaghetti pasta was really difficult for him. But like rotinis, things like this were a lot easier. They didn't give him the same kind of anxiety. So I've got the hamburger starting to brown, and I'm going to start the rice pasta. It says get the water boiling, add a little bit of salt, and then we're going to cook it for 15 to 16 minutes. I'm going to drain this hamburger because I got a lot of extra fat in there after cooking. I don't want that in my sauce, so I'm going to go dump this in a bucket in the fridge and then get rid of it in. You can either dump it in the trash can, or some places will let you dump it down the toilet. Check with your maintenance place, the maintenance, whoever does your pipes, because you don't want to put this stuff down your regular drain because it'll solidify and then it clogs the drains on the way back up. So I'm gonna go get rid of the fat. Alright, so we've got pasta sauce on low and slow, and we're going to add in our herbs, basil, and then green onion. And then I'm going to put in all of that spinach. All of it. Sorry about it, Josh. Oopsies. Hope he's not mad at me. It's gonna cook on down. It looks like a lot right now, but that just... So, let's let it cook. I'll see you in a minute. Alright, seem much less intimidating, right? It's cooked down quite a bit. And I haven't even added the hamburger in there, which makes it look much yummier. Which is what I'm about to do. So, I'm going to add my hamburger. And I've got some salt and pepper and just some Italian seasoning here. So, you know, when we talk about food exposures and how you have to have at least 10 in order to get used to something, this counts. Cooking totally counts. Going to the grocery store counts. Like having food out on the counter in the kitchen counts. Touching it, playing with it, cutting it, prepping it, being around it, talking about it. All of those things help ease the anxiety around food, which is the main goal here. Is we want to make you more comfortable around the foods that you want to eat, or you should eat, or whatever your situation is. So, I got all my spices, and now we're just going to let it cook, and we're ready to go. That's easy peasy, right? Cheeses, there's a couple cheeses allowed. Mozzarella and Parmesan, Monterey Jack, and cheddar are all allowed. So, I've got a few of those. I will probably add some cheese in. I've tested this. I did it for the 15 minutes, and it is a little bit harder than I was expecting. It could just be this type of pasta. I'm not used to it. So, yeah. But I'm going to add in the carrots and the broccoli when I do my own personal one. So this won't be the hardest part of the bite, which is going to make it a lot easier. So there we go. Let's put it together. And that's all. Alright, some vegetables, some of the rice pasta, a little bit of extra minutes. Absolutely did it. It got significantly better. And a little bit of sauce. Sauce it all. See? It doesn't look so scary now, right? All that spinach. Bam. And then we'll finish it off with some Parmesan and some fresh cheesy bread, sourdough. Enjoy. Thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate you. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear them. Let me know if there's anything I can help you with in the kitchen. We'll talk soon. Love you guys.